no stable state and 2 quasi-stable states. Means output of a stable multivibrator doesn't remain at one state, rather it changes according to the as time proceeds, right? Means there is no stable state for the stable multivibrator. If at t equals 0, if the output is high, at t equals 0 plus, output may be low, right? Look at here, there is no triggering components here, right? Here we can see 2 transistors, here also it is cross coupled transistor, right? 2 capacitors and 4 resistors and 2 LEDs. If you draw the line vertically at exactly center, right, the number of components on the left hand side equals number of components on the right hand side. That's why we can say this circuit is symmetrical circuit, right? If you observe carefully, there are capacitors in a feedback path, right? This is nothing but a feedback path. Feedback means output of Q2 is given to the input of Q1, output of Q1 is given to the input of Q2. So in a feedback path, this is the one of the feedback path, this is the other feedback path. In the feedback path we have a capacitors, right? We have a 2 capacitors, right? This LEDs L1 and L2 indicate the status of Q1 and status of Q2. If the Q2 is on, L2 will glow. If the Q1 is on, L1 will glow, right? Here in this circuit we have a enough amount of freedom to pick either Q1 is in saturation or Q2 is in saturation, right? But not both at the same time, right? What I'm trying to say is you can assume Q2 is on initially or Q1 is on initially. There is no problem at all. Why? Because it is a symmetrical circuit. Symmetrical means number of configuration components in the left hand side, number of components in configuration in the right hand side is absolutely same. That's why either of the transistor will be on. If the one transistor is on, another transistor obviously going to be off, right? Why 2 transistors are not in saturation at the same time means, look at here, we have 2 transistors, 2 different transistors, even the number of the transistors is same, like BC547, right? Beta of these 2 transistors is absolutely not identical, right? If the beta of the Q1 may be 500, if the beta of the Q2 may be 300, still we can use in this circuit with the 2 different betas. So as beta values are differing, right, we cannot expect both the transistors will be on, switched on at the same time, right? Apart from the indifference in betas, there would be a differences in these resistor values 47K, 470, 47K, 470, meaning that this 47K on the left hand side may not be equal to the 47K on the right hand side. So that's why only one of the transistor will be on at given amount of time. Let us assume Q1 is on, right? Let us see what will happen if the Q1 is on. If the Q1 is on, base to emitter voltage is 0.7, that's why it is written here. Base to emitter voltage is 0.7, so that 0.7 will be reflected here on the capacitor one end, right? If the Q1 is on, output is 0. If the output is 0, right, this LED one end is connected to the ground and another is connected to the supply through this resistor, so LED will glow. This glowing of LED indicates transistor is in saturation region or transistor is in on state, right? So if this transistor is on, obviously this transistor Q2 will be off. If the Q2 is off, current is approximately 0, right? Approximately 0. If the current is approximately 0, the approximately same amount of voltage will be reflected here, right? Instead of 9 we have taken 8 because of some drop across 470 and LED. Because of the reverse saturation current, some amount of voltage will be dropped across 470 and LED. That's why we have reduced this 9 volts to the 8 volts. So if you observe this capacitor, C2 capacitor, and at one end we have 0.7, at another end we have plus 8 volts. So voltage difference between these two is 7.3 volts. So capacitor is holding the voltage of 7.3 volts. Now if you look at the scenario of this C1, right, scenario of this C1, right, C1 is connected to, one end of the C1 is connected to ground, another end of the C1 is connected to the resistor, sorry, another end of the capacitor C1 is connected to the power supply through the resistor R2 47 kilo ohms, right. So in a simple sense, this is a positive voltage and it is flowing through R2 and through capacitor and is grounded. So this RC network is connected in between positive voltage of 9 and negative voltage of 9. So this capacitor charges slowly because R2 is much greater than R1, right. R2 is much greater than R1. If you look at the values here, this is the R1 value 47 ohms, this is the R2 value 47 kilo ohms. That's why R2 is much greater than R1. So what is the luxury we will get if R2 is much greater than R1? Means if R2 is greater than R1, this capacitor takes some amount of time to charge, right. Now this is the scenario. Capacitor C2 is charged up to 7.3 volts. Capacitor C1 is slowly discharging. Now as C1 attains 0.7 volts, now Q2 will be on, right. Q2 is on, right. Why Q2 will be on? In the sense, this capacitor is slowly charging here. Capacitor C1 is slowly charging. If this capacitor C1 is slowly charging, this capacitor has the chance to charge up to 0.7 volts. So when and only when this capacitor is charged to 0.7 volt, the same 0.7 volts is given to the base of the Q2. Now Q2 will be on. If the Q2 will be on, voltage on the right side of C2 is suddenly pulled down to 0, right. This is 0 volts. Earlier, look at here, earlier it is 8 volts. Now the same end is pulled to 0 volts. Now what this capacitor is supposed to do, expected to do, the voltage on capacitor does not change suddenly, right. Look at the voltage difference between these two. It is 7.3, right. It is 7.3, right. So we are forcing this capacitor, one another capacitor, to 0 volts. So what this capacitor is supposed to do is, it will take the same 7.3 and reflect at the one end. Look at the voltage difference here, 8 minus 0.7, 7.3. In a similar way, look at the difference here, 0 minus 7.3, it is still 7.3. So here it is 7.3, here also it is 7.3. So capacitor is not changing its voltage within no time. So capacitor is going with the same voltage. But look at here, what will happen? This is a negative voltage. That negative voltage is given to the Q1. If the negative voltage is given to Q1, what will happen to the Q1, which is earlier on? Now will become off, right. Now it become off. Initially Q1 is on, now Q1 is off, right. Why Q1 is off? Because there is a negative voltage from C2, that's why Q1 is off, right. If the Q1 is off, L1 is off, right. As Q2 is on, L2 is on. So this process repeats. Which process means, if you assume Q1 is on, this is 7.3 happening, that 7.3 is becoming minus 7.3 and same Q1 is becoming off, right. What will happen if the Q1 is off? Now this capacitor will hold minus 7.3 and it will switches off Q2. So this cycle repeats forever. That's why without triggering, the output of this unstable matter vibrator changes itself. So initially you assume Q1 is on. If the Q1 is on, output is low. right? Other transistor is off. If it is off, output is high, right? Now let us talk about the Q1. Initially Q1 is on means output is 0, approximately 0. Now look at the base of the Q1, right? During this on time, right? When and only when base is positive, means 0.7, then only that particular transistor will be on, right? So if Q1 is on, Q2 is obviously off, right? How can we say Q2 is off? Means look at the voltage graph here. This is nothing but negative voltage. This negative voltage applied at the base of the Q2. That's why Q2 is off. Off means output is high, right? How much voltage we have seen there mean how much amount of negative voltage we have seen there means minus 7.3. Look at here. This is nothing but a minus 7.3. Minus 7.3 applied to the base of the one of the transistor. Minus 7.3 is applied to the base of the one transistor. That particular transistor will be off. Off means output is high, right? So this low voltage takes V saturation approximately 0 or 0.3. This high value is going to be plus VCC. Similarly, this is VB. VB is nothing but a 0.7 volts approximately. This negative portion is nothing but what we have seen is minus 7.3. So this is all about astable multivibrator, right? If you would like to simulate this astable multivibrator using online simulator, this is here we have. This is nothing but a astable multivibrator, right? Here we have 2 transistors, 2 capacitors and 4 resistors. There is no triggering circuit at all. Why? Because this circuit itself changes its states, right? That's why there is no stable state for this astable multivibrator. Let us assume one of the transistors is on. So voltage at Q2 is, collector of Q2 is high. High means this transistor is off. Look at the base voltage. Base voltage less than 0.67. That's why Q2 is off. Look at the voltage at Q1. It is 0.66 and collector voltage is approximately 0. So in this case, at this instant, Q1 is on, Q2 is off, right? So if you look at the output, Q2 output is 5 volts. This is red color one is nothing but a Q2 output. Q1 output is absolutely 0. This is nothing but a Q1 output, right? This green color one is a Q1 output of Q1. Red color one is the output of Q2. As Q2 is off in cutoff region, output is high. As Q1 is operating in saturation, output is 0. That's why output is 0. Now look at here, same thing. Look at the same circuit in the perspective of capacitors. Here we have 2 capacitors, right? Voltage on capacitor C1 is negative. Look at here, it is nowhere near to the 0.67, right? Unless and until there is no 0.67 for the Q2 will be off. So look at this, Q2 is off. That's why output is high. In a similar fashion, look at the voltage on capacitor C2. This is nothing but a 0.67. 0.67 is more than enough to make Q1 into saturation mode. That's why Q1 is in saturation mode. Output is absolutely 0, right? Let us run it. This is the output we want to get, continuous square waves, right? Under no circumstances both the transistors are on. Look at the waveforms here. If one waveform is high, another waveform is low. That's why under no circumstances Q1 and Q2 both are on. If Q1 is on, Q2 will be off. If Q2 is on, Q1 will be off. This is how stable multivibrator works. Now going back to our discussion, this is the one of the situation of astable multivibrator. Q2 Q2's output is 0.65. Why? Because base voltage is much less, minus 0.35, much less than 0.67. That's why this transistor Q2 is in cutoff region. So Q2 is off, Q1 is on. Right? Look at here. This is Q2. This is Q1. Q1 is Q2 is off. Why? Because base of the Q2 is being applied with a negative voltage. That's why it is off. If it is off, here we go to have 5 volts. That's why this capacitor charges. Right? In a similar fashion, look at here. At the base, we have a positive voltage 0.67. That's why Q1 is on. If the Q1 is on, this is connected to ground. Collector is connected to ground. Why? Because it is operating in saturation mode. Saturation mode. That's why it is 0. 0 means this capacitor is discharging. Now look at the second case. In the first case, in this case, Q2 is off, Q1 is on. Right? C2 is charging, C1 is discharging. Right? In the second case, Q2 is on, Q1 is off, completely opposite of this. Right? At Q1, at collector of Q1, collector voltage is 0, base voltage is 0.7, that's why Q1 is on. At Q2, collector voltage is 5 volts, base voltage is 0.7, that's why Q2 is off. Right? Look at here. At the base, this capacitor voltage is positive, that's why Q2 is on. At the base, this voltage is negative, that's why Q1 is off. Now this is the derivation of time period for astable multivibrator. We know these capacitors are playing important role in determining this width of the pulse. Right? This is the RC network 10K and 10 microfarad. 10K and 10 microfarad is playing very important role in determining width of the pulse. So keeping that in mind, if you would like to determine time period of, which is nothing but a capital T, time period of this astable multivibrator, we are supposed to go by voltage and capacitor formula. Voltage and capacitor formula is nothing but V final minus V initial multiplied by e power minus t by tau. So if you go on substituting these values, this is the thing what we are going to get. T equals 2 natural log of 2 R3 C2. Look at where is the R3 and C2. Look at this diagram. 47K and 10 nanofarad, 10 nanofarad and 47K. So this R, which is nothing but a connected to the base, and this capacitor plays very important role in determining width of the pulse. This is the width of the pulse. Width of the pulse is solely dependent upon 10K and 10 microfarad, 10K and 10 microfarad. Right?